You know, sometimes in life you become aware of situations, and as a company and on a personal level, we have an agent in our group, her name is Lonnie Vanderbeek, and it's just been a little overwhelming to watch the litany and observe the litany of things that have been happening from a health perspective within Lonnie's family. And so, you know, sometimes you just become aware of things and you know that doing nothing is just not an option. You just got to figure out what you can do. And so this was one of those.
I'm Sandy Rowe, and this is my husband Nathan and daughter Annalee. We also have 3 other children. In the fall of 2019, Annalee started having pain in her legs. She started getting tired more easily. We took her to the doctor and nothing was wrong that they could tell. Things just got worse and worse. She would be in horrible pain. She would be nauseated and throwing up. And then she got a fever, and we were sent to Primary Children's Hospital to talk to a rheumatoid arthritis specialist. I wondered if we should go because my dad had just been diagnosed with throat cancer the week before, and he was having surgery on that day. So while my dad was in surgery, we were talking to rheumatoid arthritis. They couldn't really decide if it was or if it wasn't. They took another blood test and sent us on our way. And while we were sitting in Crown Burger having milkshakes, I got a phone call and they said, "Have you left Salt Lake?" And I said, "No." And they said, we need you to come back here. The ER is expecting you. Come straight to the emergency room entrance." And I said, "What are you thinking that it is?" And they said, "Well, we think it might be leukemia." Annalee said, "Are you telling me that this might be something that could kill me?" And I said, "Yeah, it might be. We need to see."
Now all of a sudden we're worried about Annalee, and what we didn't realize at the time was it wasn't just Annalee, because there's Annalee and her siblings and her parents, and now it's my other daughter and her kids and my son, and everybody is having such a difficult time because you can't help, you can't go, you can't risk contaminating. They could die.
At one point, she had an allergic reaction to something that she was supposed to take. So they're like, "That's okay, we have an alternate that you can take, but you have to come down Monday, Wednesday, Friday for 2 weeks." So that was right when the pandemic hit. So I had to take my kids with us to Salt Lake. And so we would leave at like 6:30 in the morning. We drive down there. A friend of mine that lives in Salt Lake would come park next to my car in the garage, and she would sit in her car and watch my kids sitting in my car for however many hours that we were there. And then we'd get in the car and drive home. So my kids would be like in the car for 10 hours.
The reason we did it that way is because I was working full-time or part-time still and doing schoolwork as well. So she'd take the kids while I was working, and then on the days that I was not working that they had treatment, I'd stay home with the kids and get homeschooling done, my schooling work done, and man the house while they were away.
We ended up spending 11 days in the hospital at that time during Christmas. They started her treatment. They said, "Good news, it's the best kind of leukemia. It's very treatable, over 90% treatable. And it's just going to be a long haul of 2.5 years of treatment." She lost her hair. She was throwing up all the time. This kid is a rock star, and we were down to just about a year left of Annalee's treatment and getting ready to celebrate the end of that. And then she got a fever, and they did more tests, and they finally found out that she had relapsed with her leukemia. And that was really hard because we thought that what we had gone through was already hard, but we thought that we'd made it. And to just have to start at the beginning again, but not the same beginning, a worse beginning.
I don't remember a lot from when I was first diagnosed because it was so long ago, and I just kind of shut down, tried to block out as much of it as I could.
When you relapse as early as she did,
It's saying that the treatment that doing wasn't working. So I have to try a different, harder treatment.
And things are less certain. The percentages go down a lot. And she had to have a bone marrow transplant, and that is what we're waiting on right now. All the news that we keep getting just sounds worse and worse. We're like, okay, bone marrow transplant. And they're like, well, when you come for that, you have to stay for 6 weeks. And then we're thinking, okay, 6 weeks. And then we get to go home. And they're like, no, after that, you have to stay for 2 more months within 30 minutes of the hospital in Salt Lake, which means me and her. And basically, we had to split up our family. We couldn't figure out what else to do because
Dad has to work and we're going to be away.
So right now, the 3 younger kids are living with my sister.
The kids, when they're here, they can go to school, they can play with friends, they can be involved in activities and all this stuff. And when they were home, they, in the winter, they can't leave the house because it's Idaho. So it was really, really hard.
But that means that whenever we see them, we have to wear our masks and wash our hands and not get too close. And they're basically not part of our household anymore. And that's the only way we've been able to figure out how to keep my husband working and keep her safe. We were in the hospital this time for 32 days. She had a fever for 26 days of that time.
During the first part of the month that they were gone at the hospital, I was there for the first couple days, and then Sandy drove down with the children in tow, and we switched so that she could stay with Annalee during the hospital stay. Being a nurse and progressing towards nurse practitioner, you think, yep, I can be there, I can take care of patients, I can take care of other people's kids, I can take care of parents, in-laws, whatever, but you never think about having to take care of your own.
My sister asked everybody that she knew in her neighborhood if anybody was selling, then they had to tell her and sell it to her first.
So the house, I was kind of looking out for something in the area, and it had to be affordable. And, you basically have to wait for something that's not updated for it to be affordable. And you also have to get it before it goes on the market because things are selling in less than 24 hours around here. Someone just happened to say, oh, so-and-so is selling their house. They're thinking about selling their house. And I was like, really? Let me be really nosy now. Like, is it a ranch style? Is it, how much are they asking? And then it turned out being this absolutely perfect thing that's, it wasn't updated, so it was affordable. And she was nice enough to agree to, we got a fair market estimate, and she agreed to sell it to them without putting it on the market, which is the only way they would have got something. And it's in the neighborhood. So the best part is these kids are here with us, and they're making friends, and they're going to church, and they're going to school, and now they're going to be living 2 blocks away, which I think my kids are not very happy about that, but they'll have all the same friends. And so it's useful what they're doing here, the friends they're making. They're going to be in the same school. It'll be less traumatic for them. So, it was the hand of God in it, for sure.
They were coming home from the hospital, and they just learned about how horrible it was going to be. And they were having a hard time, and I called her and I said, you know what? Anderson Hicks group, Chris, Bert, Annalee, they said they're going to come in and they're going to help you and they're going to do all this. And Sandy, for the first time in all of this, for the very first time, she said, why me? She didn't say that with the cancer. She didn't say that when she thought we might lose her dad. She didn't say that when it relapsed. But when someone said, we want to help you, we want to do this unbelievable thing of making this home something you don't have to worry about, that's when she said, why me? We don't deserve it. So many others need so much more. And I'm really proud that that's who my family is.
When we heard this story, at Anderson Hicks Group, when we heard this story that, the conditions they'd been living in this duplex and the sacrifices they'd been making as a family, and that they had found this house, but it needed some updating. That to me was our opportunity. That presented an opportunity for us to do something and step up where where maybe we hadn't been able to before. So it was a really cool opportunity. You know, it's going to be amazing, right? This family that's been living in the conditions they have in this duplex on top of each other. One of them's been in a closet. I think this new house is going to be a new beginning for them. It's going to be a new opportunity for Annalee to come home from her treatment, and it'll be a breath of fresh air. They'll have some space. They'll have some room to, you know, meet together in the living room and not be on top of each other like we saw. So, and the other kids will be able to get out of the other house, right? Out of there with Sarah and be able to give them some of their room back. Action to the entire community. We're asking Pocatello, we're asking Idaho Falls, Blackfoot, anybody in East Idaho that wants to help, we're going to give them an opportunity to help. And what we're doing is, over the next 30 days, we've set up a GoFundMe account. We've also set up an account with the Bank of Commerce where you can go and donate money. We've partnered with TJ Sports, ordered up a bunch of t-shirts that are really cool that have, you know, Annalee and Sandy, as they've been going through this, one of their sayings is they've just joined the Best Worst Club, which is, you know, cancer. And then they've taken this hashtag in her blood because they're tying that to winning is in her blood, overcoming cancer is in her blood. And so these t-shirts are really cool. They correlate with that. We're going to give you an opportunity to buy some t-shirts. That'll help us raise some money. And then there will be other fundraisers and other things we're going to do over the next 30 days to raise money. If you're a contractor out there and you want to help out, get in touch with us. If you are a supplier and you want to help out with supplies, get in touch with us. And if you're just a member of the community, we're going to set some days up to go in. And obviously there's going to be some demo that needs to be done. There's going to be some things you can do to participate that way. So just watch for continual updates. But right now, if you want to hit the link below, there's a GoFundMe account set up. Like I said, our goal for this entire, these next 30 days is $80,000.
I think at the heart of this story is Lonnie, who's kind of the grandmother. Well, she is the grandmother of Annalee, and she's kind of the mother of Anderson Hicks as well. She's taken on that role. And honestly, one of the greatest things about merging with the Hicks group a couple of years ago for our team was being in business with Lonnie. She's the kind of person that just embodies positivity. And I haven't come across personally in the last couple of years anybody that has dealt with as much adversity as she has and yet maintained such a high level of enthusiasm and positivity and a heart of giving. I mean, this is a woman who is at the center of every opportunity to serve. When she sees someone who's down, she takes time to reach out and lift them up. Sometimes she's helping with money, sometimes she's helping with time, sometimes she's helping with a smile. I mean, she is a person that I strive every day to be like. And so when in fact, she's got such a giving heart that this whole situation, I mean, for the last couple of years, she's been dealing with a situation with her husband that's been tremendously difficult in and of itself. He's got Parkinson's, and then he's also gone through cancer. And there was a point in time where we thought we were going to lose her husband, and so then to have this happen on top of that, you know, and she's the person that's always the one that's giving and helping. So it's been really hard for her to sit back and allow people to do things for her. But this is the way life goes. If there's anybody that's out there that deserves the community to rally and do something for them, it's Lonnie and her family. So that's the kind of person that she is. And so this is an amazing opportunity for us as a team to help, and also for us to extend that opportunity out to the community.
That's really all that's keeping us going right now. When things get sad, we say, let's think about the house. Let's think about what your bedroom's gonna look like. Because we're gonna have a living room and a den and a family room downstairs and your own bedroom. And for a family that has been stuck in a 2-bedroom house for a year and a half with only each other, that sounds like heaven. We do like each other, but we also like to just have a little space. So we have been so excited to get into this house, and
Very blessed as well.
we know how lucky we are.